What is going on, everyone? Welcome to our Finance Tuesdays. Hope you guys are having a great day and are doing really well. I want to jump right into this subject of how I've paid off $52,000 of bad debt in 4 years. I want to shout out my wife who has supported this idea and has contributed as well. Obviously, she's helped as well. I don't want to forget that part. Now, with that being said, I want to share the journey and what's next, what I have planned for 2024 and beyond. Now, it all started in 2019 in the summer. I was on a video presentation and I was watching how they use whole life insurance to pay off debt and use it to invest. Now, I do want to say this up front. Whole life insurance is not an investment. It is a store of value, and I'll explain that a little bit later. When I was learning this concept, it was new to me. I was trying to get educated and just understand how to use this. You've probably heard of terms like be your own banker. That's a very common thing that you hear in this industry. Now, the way this policy is designed is different than other whole life insurance policies. It's used to, you don't have taxes in it, right? Gross tax free. You earn 3 to 5% dividends every year. I know it's not a lot, but the important part is borrowing from the policy to do two things: invest, whether it's assets or education, to get out of debt. That's really all you should use it for. It is, again, it's not an investment. It's not what the purpose is for. So why did I put my money here? Well, one is I want to have more control. I wanted to borrow and use it for the things that need to be done. And the cool part is, when I borrowed and paid off a debt, I would just pay myself back. So for example, I had a $3,000 credit card, had a payment of $100. So I had about 8,000, I think it was like 8,000 in the policy. I would take 3,000 of that policy. Now the $8,000 is still there. Take $3,000, pay off the credit card, and that $100 goes back into what they call the sacred account. I work with Wealth Dynamics. That's what they advertise it as, but it's whole life insurance. It's dividend paying whole life insurance. That's what it is. And the cool part was, once I paid myself back, I was like, oh man, I've saved up more money in the account and I've, paid myself back, and that's money I can now use again, was a great feeling. And I earned a little bit of dividends as well, right? Now, why would I use life insurance over the bank? Well, once I use my money in the bank, I'll never see that money again. It's gone, right? And you only earn, I believe it's 0.1% on your money if you keep it in the bank. It's not really appealing to me. So on this journey, we've paid off all our credit card debt. My car's paid off, and I'm actually in a position where I can pay off my wife's car right now and my Sally Mae if I wanted to. Now, I'm not doing that right now because I have about $6,800 more dollars to go to pay myself back fully. And I decided, this year I'm just going to do that first. And at the end of the year, I'm still saving money, right? I'm paying myself back and saving because it's a forced savings plan, right? I save on a monthly basis. The plan is to put $800 into the cash value this year and per month. And at the end of the year, have $30,000 or close to it of cash value available to go out and borrow, pay off the next debt. So the next one is going to be my wife's car, and then have, pay ourselves back from that, and obviously have more money in the cash value, and then go after Sally Mae. And what I love about this is just paying myself back because I can restore some capital. And yes, there is an interest payment, but you usually end up paying between 1 to 3% on the interest payment, and it's due on an annual basis, not due monthly. So it's different, right? And this is really cool because once I'm done paying off all my debt, I'm going to have all this capital to go out and start investing, right? So the plans for this year is simple. Pay myself back, continue to save on a monthly basis, hit my sales goals because that's very important. Grow my two YouTube pages. This one has almost 1,000 subscribers. The other one has almost 340 subscribers. That's a basketball channel me and my friend do. And continue to get better in my career and with this right here. It's very simple, right? And then at the end of the year, have my wife in a life insurance policy too, so she can grow her own policy. And that account will just be used to just stack money, right? I'm not going to be using it to borrow yet because I want to be enough savings. Also, build a higher emergency savings fund. We've been, great, blessed to be in that $1,000, $1,500 range, and then we have to fix the car, and then we, build it back up. But I want to get to about $3,000 by the end of this year. And then when I get my next big AEP check after the Medicare season between October 15th and December 7th, use some of that money in the emergency fund and try to get that maybe to $5,000, $6,000. So we're building a higher cushion. My end goal is to have at least $15,000 to $20,000 before I even buy a house, because I know there's emergencies that go on with the house. You have to pay everything yourself. And I also understand that we're going to have kids, and they're They might have emergencies, right? And I want to be prepared. Even with having health insurance, they don't cover everything, right? So those are just things I'm, you know, looking, for down the road and thinking about now. And another thing I'm planning to do next year, after I get the next big check, is to fix my credit. It's around, I think I looked at it later, there's like over a 700, which is great. And I want to get that to an 850. I don't know if you know this or not, but I can't remember the exact term. I might be getting this wrong, but it's called the Fair Consumer. I know I'm saying it wrong. The Fair Consumer Act. I think it's in the 19. I can't remember. I think it's 1973. Well, you have the right as a consumer to dispute things on your credit. I remember I was part of a service. It was like 5 years ago, or actually probably longer than that, where I got a collection fee. It was $2,000 on my credit removed because I kept disputing it. Right? They did the service for me. So Wealth Dynamics, they have a credit service where you can get your credit to an 850. So that's my goal. I want to do all this before I even buy a house. Before all that happens, because I want to be debt free completely. After this year, once my wife's car is gone, all we have is student loans left, and I'm already making payments on that. And there's things I want to do with the federal loans because can't remember the exact term, but you can actually negotiate your consumer debt, and federal loans are a part of that, and you can pay half in the long term. So something I got to look into. I don't remember the exact term. I'll bring that in one of my videos next time down the road. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's how I've been able to pay off all this debt and how I've been able to get to this point in my life. And it's a long journey, right? Getting out of debt is not easy, but you got to take responsibility, right? You got to take ownership and just do the hard things now, because I want you to think about this. You only have so many working years before your body breaks down. That's just normal, right? And you got to think long term. There's a story in the Bible, whether you're a Christian or not, that's fine. It talks about where Joseph stored the grain for 7 years. He actually, I can't remember the exact verse, but he said that he saved so much that it overflowed. I know I'm probably saying the verse wrong, but what I'm getting at is he saved, right? And if you're going to be smart with your money, you got to look 10 years down the road. You got to look 15, 20 years down the road. And you got to realize, okay, if you're 30, you probably only have 30 more good years of work left, or a little bit more. And that's it, right? And then your body breaks down and you can't keep up as much. So you got to make these next, 10 to 15 years count for your finances, because you have to expect that the economy is going to crash, right? You have to expect that, things are going to go haywire, right? Price is going to be out of control. So you have to control your controllables, right? You have to, take it serious. You have to realize, in my 60s, if I can't work as much, well, I got to make sure I'm bringing income in some way. And you don't want to live just on Social Security. That is a sad life. I can promise you that. I hear those kind of calls every day. So when it comes to Joseph, he stored the grain and saved his family, right? So you got to look at money that way. You got to look way down the road, and you have to be very intentional today. So how do you, grow income and do better? Well, one, you got to work. That's very simple. I don't know how else to say that. You got to work a lot of hours. You got to put in that time. You got to grind. You got to find things that will produce income. Find skills, right? Develop skills that will make you more valuable, and just get better, right? It's really that simple. But if you don't think long term and you live too much in the short term, you're going to wake up one day and be like, man, I don't have anything left, right? And you don't want to do that to yourself. So it's just something to keep in mind as you're, maybe you're on this journey, or maybe you're getting started, is to think long term, because I don't want to be in my late 40s still paying for student loans. Like, I refuse to do that, right? I want to get out of this as fast as possible. And that's going to take some extreme effort and some extreme thinking and some behaviors that might seem extreme to others. But to me, I'm like, bro, you're not going to be 50 someday. I mean, you will, but I'm going to be 50 someday. I'm going to be 60. And I need to think about this right now. Like, there's just no, like, you can't like persuade me to do something financially that will hinder that process, right? So just something you want to keep in mind. And if you guys have any questions, leave your comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on your debt journey. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.